So the Garfield movie is an animated comedy adventure film, and I got the chance to watch it early, and I have to say, it's actually super enjoyable, so much better than I thought it would be. And they genuinely have pulled it out the bag with this one, and it is focusing on the untold story of Garfield's biological and estranged father, so already it's got a really heartfelt storyline. And this world feels very similar to me, like Kung Fu Panda. Now obviously not from like the Kung Fu perspective, but more from the intimate and intricate and expanding world that they are creating, and I'm so here for it, as I'm quite excited about this new animated adventure that they're creating. And it caters for all ages in a really, really good way. So it's got a lot of slapstick humor, which I do feel like all ages can enjoy, but at the same time it's got really sophisticated and layered storytelling that I feel like really does speak to adults, and of course the younger audience as well. But I am loving the fact that, you know, some of the characters, their perspectives are so much deeper than what they seem from the outside, and it's got family and friendship at the heart. So, you know, everything that you do love about the Garfield character in terms of him being super larger than life, being incredibly arrogant and self-obsessed is all there. But alongside all of that, there's actually quite a number of life or death type situations, especially towards the end of this movie, and a number of characters actually making a sacrifice, which goes back to what I was saying about the sophisticated storytelling in terms of from the outside, some of their decision making can seem ill-intended, but then later on when you actually reflect upon it, you're like, oh wow, they actually did something really selfless over there. So like I said, it's a really exciting new take on the Garfield franchise, which actually has been around for so long. Firstly in comic books, then in animation, then in movie form, and now in this rebranded animated form. And on that point, I am just loving the fact that animation has made such a big comeback, because for a number of years it was only really catering for a younger audience with the odd glimmer of adult animated TV shows and films. But finally, we're now at a point where we're getting a number of them every single month, it seems, and it's just so brilliant. So let's go through all of the voice actors one by one. So of course Chris Pratt is playing Garfield, and I have to say he actually does it really, really well, and he really is showing that he is a good voice actor. As of course recently he of course voiced Mario, and Garfield is a very different character and does sound very different, and I think Chris Pratt actually does do a good job. As like I said, all of the attributes that you do love about this character, like I said, about him hating Mondays, loving lasagna, being super self-centered, being really arrogant, but also being really funny and emotional. There are a number of different layers with this character, and I do feel like Chris Pratt does step up to the plate to play all of those aspects in a really good way. We've also got Samuel L. Jackson here playing his estranged father called Vic, and I just loved it. The backstory with these two characters and the fact that you learn so much more about Vic as the movie progresses was really, really good. And you do actually come to care and love for this character as well, which is actually really, really nice. I do feel like it could have been a little bit more layered, but for what they did do with this character in this film, it was really impressive. We've then got Hannah Waddingham, who I just have to say needs to win an award, as her performance of Jinx is so good. I am just so here for Hannah Waddingham right now, as she is absolutely smashing it. She was of course playing a villainous character in The Fall Guy recently. She made a bit of a cameo appearance in Hocus Pocus 2, and over here she is smashing it. So really, she is just signing on for such good projects, and she just plays the Jinx character so well. I love how evil this character is and how sweet she can seem, but actually she has got an evil heart. And I loved it that they really do explain why and how this character became so bitter and just so hell-bent on revenge and ruining people's lives. Honestly, this character was so good, and Hannah Waddingham just played her in such a larger-than-life kind of way. Nicholas Hoult is perfect casting for John, as he is playing such a nice guy, the ultimate nice guy who Garfield is constantly taking advantage of. And I just feel like he plays the owner of both Odie and Garfield in such a good way. And you can see that he just loves both of his pets so much. And I just feel like they got the John character down to a T in terms of him being such a nice character and being a little bit too kind and open-hearted for a number of people to then take advantage of him. Harvey Guillén also does a really good job as Odie. Like I said, I feel like everyone does a really good job from a voice acting perspective. But of course with Odie, he hasn't really got a speaking part. So I feel like Harvey had a harder job than everybody else. But he plays man's best friend in a really cool way, and you're just loving this character too, as he's just so supportive, so lovable. But it's also really funny when this guy does get annoyed at the same time. Ving Rhames does a really good job as Otto the Bull. I feel like he was a really cool character, as not only was he a bit of a sage of wisdom and helping train certain characters up, Also, he wasn't afraid to be a leader in the field. They do show that he is really smart, so he's able to get out of situations really easily and is also able to advise other people for how to do the same. But I feel like he was really, really cool. And I absolutely love Brett Goldstein and Bowen Yang playing Jinx's henchmen, those super tough guys who do seem a little bit stereotypical when you first meet them. But similarly, as the movie progressed, I love that you got to see a couple more layers with these guys. So I feel like as a whole, honestly, the voice actors were just doing such a good job. I've now got a habit, probably mainly by Kevin Feige, to just stay till the end of the credits. I'm not going to ruin whatever happens at the end, but what I will say is that there is something to stick around for, and it definitely does nod back to Garfield's original comic book days. So overall, I was actually surprisingly really impressed with the Garfield movie. I feel like it ticks all the boxes and is setting up something really exciting, and I just can't wait to see what they're going to be doing next. And so for all of those reasons, I am going to give the Garfield movie a mega 7 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of this film? Are you excited about watching this film? Are you a big Garfield fan? What are your expectations with it? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.